What if I take the risk? What if I fail? The fear of the unknown. What are others going to think of me? These are questions and thoughts that often come to mind when we're thinking about taking a risk in life. Hello and welcome back to this vlog series on the Woods for Good channel. Latest episode that we talked about was getting out of our comfort zone. This episode, we're going to be talking about how to take a risk in life. So, what brought about this topic? A couple of weeks ago, I actually had the opportunity to take a high angle class. That was for rope rescue and other things through the fire department. It really focused on high angle rope rescue, but then also pick off rescues and then tension high line systems. And basically what this is talking about is when it's a high line rope rescue, you're learning the proper techniques and everything, whether you're rappelling or ascending the rope, but then also learning how to use mechanical advantage and other things in order to help haul people and lower people. And then with the pick-off rescue, you're learning how to rappel down to an injured person that's maybe been on the side of a building, whether it's like a window washer or even certain instances that you got to deal with people on the side of a building to where they're unconscious or they just need to be taken off their system. Basically what we do is you rappel down, you take them off their system, put them onto your system, and either you get hauled back up or you get lowered down to the ground. So that's a pick-off rescue. And then using like a tension highline systems is setting up high lines across either like a ravine or two buildings in between in order to perform a rescue, basically. So it was an awesome opportunity, extremely knowledgeable people that were teaching and instructing the class, and just an amazing experience. So basically along with this is all of these we're dealing with were at heights. And I'm okay at a certain point, but these were definitely at a height where nerves were starting to set up. We were about 80 feet and above working off rope systems. And the nerves were definitely setting in. The thing is though, I knew that if I didn't do it, I was going to regret it. There's certain things that come along in your fire service career that you got to just take that leap of faith. You got to take the risk and do it so that you have that sense of accomplishment, but also you're overcoming some fears and other things. The fear of the unknown is one of the biggest things. But you're putting your trust, in this case, in that equipment and your training, and you're overcoming those fears, and then you're enjoying the benefits of the amazing experience afterwards. Now, it's not always going to be that way, but there's a lot of times that in order to accomplish success, we got to take that leap of faith and we got to take that risk, and the benefits are going to be astronomical. They're going to be incredible coming from that experience because we took that leap of faith. It's just a small application of what we often face in life. So taking risks isn't always in our nature. And I know for me, I want to know most of the outcomes that before I even take that leap of faith. But that's not going to be the case most of the times. This is something that I'm working on and trying to push myself, whether it's for our business and home organizing and building home gyms and stuff like that, or whether it's fitness goals, intense fitness goals, and there'll be more on that later that I'll talk about in future episodes. But also your family goals. You got to learn to take certain risks in order to help benefit not only yourself, but your family and the things that are your main priorities in life. So one of the biggest things is I'm not always going to know the outcome all the time, but I do know in order to strive to be better and to grow and to learn, I must take some of these risks. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean like all my friends are jumping off a cliff, so I'm going to do it. No, there are calculated risks that need to be taken, but there's times in life that hey, I need to take this leap of faith in order to advance either my career or what's going to happen with my future, with my family, and all these other things that sometimes caution needs to be thrown to the wind a little bit. And in order to succeed or to grow, we got to be able to take these risks. So there's kind of going along the lines with this, I'm reading a book that's called Deliberate Discomfort, and it's by Jason Van Camp. And he made the following quote: "What's stopping you? Fear? Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will." But that's not entirely accurate. Fear is the unknown. Once you truly know something, you're no longer afraid of it. So for me, in my case with the rope rescue, my fear was, I've put this system on, I've done a couple low angle rescue stuff that you're trusting that equipment, but now I'm looking at all these heights that are above me and I'm thinking, I gotta trust this equipment that it's gonna hold me, and that's what it's made for. So once I saw that people were actually doing it and trusting the system, and then once I saw for myself when I loaded onto the system and the equipment, there was no longer that fear of the unknown, because I know that from that day, from that experience, that I can trust that equipment when it's properly maintained and all that. But that is what it's designed for. Once you truly do know something, then you are no longer going to be afraid of it. So I challenge those of you who are watching this video, whether it's as simple as whether you want to start a new workout program, or the next promotion, or starting a business, or pushing yourself in ways that you've never ever been pushed before, do it, and do it head on. Take that risk, because even if you fail, which we do, we're human beings, we're going to learn from it, and we're going to be better for it, because doing new and hard things is going to help us overcome those fears of the unknown, but also it's going to help us get stronger as human beings, because we're taking those risks to make ourselves better. The big thing with that too is that, look at it from the perspective of, if you're taking that risk to go work out, to get into that new workout program, and in my opinion, that risk is an awesome risk. It's a huge benefit to not only your health, but your mental fortitude, your resilience, everything. If you put yourself in that position to go do that new workout, after the first day, you're not gonna be absolutely jacked and look like Rich Froning or some of these guys that are just gifted. What's gonna end up happening is we're gonna be sore from it, especially if we've never done it before. You're moving muscles that have not been trained. But then if you continue to strive to get better at it, you're gonna learn more about it. That fear of the unknown of going to a gym or doing certain exercises or some of these things, it's gonna help us and benefit us in the long run. And we're gonna start to see the results from it. And we're gonna start to see that we are growing, both mentally, physically, if we're staying consistent and doing some other things with it. It's an awesome thing to see. So I'll leave you with this quote from Leo Buscaglia, a former Navy veteran, professor, but also a big motivational speaker. He made the statement: "Nature never allows you to fall on your face if you take risks. If you laugh, you risk appearing to be a fool. If you weep, you risk to appear to be sentimental. If you reach out to another, you risk rejection. If you love, you risk not being loved in return. If you place your dreams in front of the crowds, as we do, you risk ridicule. If you go forward in the face of overwhelming odds, you risk failure. But the risk must be taken, for the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. That person may avoid suffering, pain, and embarrassment, but he will not learn, grow, feel, love, or change. Only the person who takes risks is truly free." So go take that risk. Adios, and I'll see you in the next episode.